So I think it's the same thing for me with like kind of knowing what I like want to do or what I like. I'm a really like straightforward person.
Y'all, Rihanna and Kendall Jenner are once again a trending topic, and you can likely guess the reason why.
No, I get bored otherwise, so I like to keep myself busy.
It's no secret that Rihanna was never a Kardashian fan, but when it comes to Kendall Jenner, RiRi wanted the whole world to know just how much Kendall gets on her nerves. Now, you'd think that this sentiment would fade with time, especially now that Rihanna is a whole mom and she has other priorities. However, sources close to RiRi are saying that while it may be true that Rihanna doesn't have time to go back and forth with the girlies on Twitter and IG anymore, she still peeps everything that's going on, and apparently she still feels some type of way about Kendall and is convinced that Kendall is still stalking her. And it sounds like things are personal because Kendall used to date RiRi's baby daddy, A$AP Rocky, back when RiRi was still keeping A$AP in the friend zone. But is this really why Rihanna can't stand Kendall? And what's up with these rumors that Kendall is still stalking RiRi? Let's break it down.
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive.
As you all know, Rihanna and the Kardashian clan do not mix, and RiRi has taken a lot of effort over the years to avoid being associated with this family. However, the only Kard-Jenner member that Rihanna actively hated on since day one is Kendall Jenner. Rihanna's subtle digs at Kendall actually date all the way back to 2013 when Kendall was still a teenager. Back then, Kendall was a die-hard Rihanna fan, or at least that's what she wanted people to think. So in April 2013, ahead of Rihanna's concert in LA, Kendall tweeted her excitement about hearing her favorite Rihanna song and made a playful comment about how she'd be upset if the song wasn't performed. "If Rihanna doesn't perform Complicated tomorrow, I'm gonna get very upset," Kendall tweeted. Now, most fans understood this as a joke, and they didn't think Kendall was actually threatening to throw a fit unless Rihanna performed her song. But RiRi thought differently, and as soon as she noticed Kendall's tweet, she clapped back, "Well, don't come." Now, at the time, Kendall still wasn't the Kendall Jenner, so she probably didn't feel bold enough to throw some shade back at RiRi. And love her or hate her, Kendall was still a teenager then, and it did seem kinda weird that Rihanna would humiliate her like this for apparently no reason at all. And we love Rihanna, but you gotta admit that she had no chill back then. But this wasn't the end. The next incident involving these two took place after Rihanna decided to boycott Victoria's Secret's show after another model was replaced with Kendall. Back in 2015, RiRi was supposed to perform at the VS show in New York, and she actually announced the performance that year before. But then, just days before she was supposed to strut her stuff alongside the VS Angels, RiRi suddenly canceled on the event and told them, "Get someone else to do it." And it didn't take long before it turned out RiRi dropped out because she found out that VS replaced her friend and British model Jordan Dunn with Kendall. And Jordan actually kinda sorta confirmed this was the reason why RiRi was a no-show when she tweeted, "Feeling so much better about not doing BS. Sorry, I mean VS, now that Rihanna isn't doing it also." And by this time, Kendall had already built her reputation for being a rude pick-me, so fans were no longer questioning why Rihanna didn't like her. Shortly after, Kendall's reputation took another hit when she made some very ignorant comments about the modeling industry. In her 2018 interview with Love magazine, Kendall was asked how come she got to walk for all these big designer names when she was just starting out, and Kendall said she and her team had always been super selective about what shows she would do. "I was never one of those girls who would do like 30 shows a season, or whatever the those girls do," Kendall said. Now, you and I both know that Kendall said "my team." She should have just said Kris Jenner, and Kendall herself let it slip a few years later that Kris did her thing when she decided she wanted to be a model.
I know it's kind of corny to say, but almost like destiny. Like, I think that was what was pushing me that direction. And I like presented the cutest like little modeling book to my mom when I was like 14. And then she did her Kris Jenner things and made it all come to life.
What also didn't help Kendall's reputation is the fact that the same year she said she'd never do 30-plus shows a season like regular models, she was named the highest-earning model in the world and received the Fashion Icon of the Decade award. Of course, this triggered backlash from the Rihanna fan who argued, and rightfully so, that Kendall's relatively short career is simply not deserving of that title when compared to Rihanna's influence, also implying that 21-year-old Kendall Jenner had a decade's worth of influence on fashion just didn't make sense. Anyway, Rihanna didn't publicly comment on Kendall getting this award. However, iconic VS Angel and self-proclaimed Rihanna stan Adriana Lima did it for her.
I noticed that a lot of people were kind of in an uproar because Kendall Jenner was chosen as fashion icon of the year and having, had
decade, I think it was.
The decade, exactly.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
And she hasn't been in the industry for a decade. And obviously, being in the Kardashian clan, there's just going to be a lot of stigma attached to it. How do you feel about someone who hasn't had a storied history as yourself getting that type of accolade?
And I think these days, everything is judged by social media and how much people you are reaching out through that, I believe. And I think that it was well-deserved,
Okay,
Yes.
so you don't have a problem with it, even though she hasn't been around a decade, you feel like she earned it.
I think, it's just a trophy, it doesn't mean anything,
And it wasn't just Adriana who had some words to say about Kendall being called a supermodel and a fashion icon. Check out how the supermodel Naomi Campbell reacted when asked how she felt about Kendall.
Wants to know your views on Kendall Jenner being the highest paid model while saying she cherry picks her jobs and could never do 30 shows in a season.
Next question.
But there may be another reason why Kendall's hatred towards Kendall grew over the years. See, a lot of fans have speculated that Kendall's fling with A$AP Rocky made Rihanna dislike Kendall even more. Rocky and Kendall dated around 2017, and they even attended the Met Gala, and their PDA photos caused quite a commotion on the internet. And at the next Met Gala in 2018, Rihanna made her feelings about Kendall loud and clear, and according to several eyewitnesses, she made some very shady comments about Kendall's weight. One anonymous witness told Star Magazine that Rihanna was standing next to Kendall at the bar and loudly said, "Good thing I have curves to pull this outfit off. I would hate to be a stick figure." But she didn't stop there. A few years later, she once again sent a clear message that she doesn't want to associate herself with Kendall in any way, shape, or form. So what happened is that in 2021, Rihanna booked all of Kendall's Nepo baby friends for her Fenty show, including Gigi and Bella Hadid. But Kendall didn't get the invite, and fans quickly picked up on this, with one of them tweeting, "Everybody and their mama is getting that Savage Fenty invite except for Kendall Jenner." But just in case someone didn't get her message, Rihanna made sure to throw some shade at Kendall again at the 2022 Paris Fashion Week. By this point, RiRi and A$AP had already started dating, and they actually sat in the front row watching Kendall walk the runway at the Off-White show. That's when Rihanna decided to let everyone know exactly how she feels about Kendall as a model, and a video went viral showing Rihanna and Rocky's less than impressed expressions as Kendall walked past them. And then more recently, rumors started floating around that Kendall was caught secretly creeping on Rihanna and A$AP's loved-up photos, and sources say she seems to be jealous because Kendall can seem to keep a man. And what made the whole situation worse is that this allegedly happened shortly after Kendall was accused of racism and cultural appropriation over her ignorant tequila ad. As you probably know, Kendall is the founder of the tequila brand 818, and she received a lot of backlash after releasing an ad campaign that featured shots of Mexican farm workers harvesting agave, while Kendall is seemingly cosplaying a Mexican woman.
In the video, we see several Mexican farmers working hard in the agave fields, while Kendall walks through the fields with a bottle of tequila and also struts on horseback while posing and smiling for the camera. Kendall is also seen with her hair in a couple of braids while wearing a hat and a blouse that resembles a rebozo, which is a Mexican shawl, and completed her look with a pair of what seems to be handcrafted earrings. After Kendall's promos went live, many people, especially Mexican and Mexican Americans, were enraged with what they had seen and took to Instagram to accuse her of cultural appropriation as well as tone deafness, only to find out that she had already disabled the comment.
And while it's unlikely Rihanna will hop on social media anytime soon to throw shade at Kendall, considering she just gave birth to her second child, RiRi's fans are doing the work for for her, and they're saying Rihanna was right about Kendall all along. One fan said, "I'm Team RiRi. I also saw a documentary about a waitress who worked in LA at a popular bar, and when Kylie and Kendall came there with their friends, they would make the bar shut down for privacy, which is fine. But the waitress said they treated the staff terribly and then didn't even tip them. Not even $1. Nothing. Which makes me think Rihanna is absolutely right about them." And another fan wrote, "We need more people like Rihanna who don't care about who these people think they are and just speak with no BS. It's about time the Kardashians/Jenners go down and pay for all the bad they've done to others on their way up." But how do you feel about this whole RiRi versus Kendall situation? What do you think is the real reason Rihanna can't stand Kendall? Let us know in the comments, and don't miss out on this next video.